Hello friends, and welcome to the second video today. We're talking about another debut, okay? EASTSHINE. They just debuted with their new album, EMBERS, and I love a debut. I've said this in other videos, I'm pretty sure. I love a debut because when you go into your debut, there's literally no expectations. Like, when SHINee puts out a song, there's things I expect from a SHINee album, right? When Stray Kids puts out a song, when Tux puts out a song, but a debut is fresh. It's new. I love me a debut. Anyway, let's go over this video is going to work. I'm going to run through the track list. I'm going to give you my thoughts on each song, and then I'm going to give this album a score of 10 at the end. However, couple things. First, I have booze. This is Simply Spiked Lemonade. This is the watermelon version. It's delightful if you're over 21 or wherever you live and drinking age. Highly recommend. Disclaimer number 2. I've heard this album like twice so far now. It's pretty new. It came out like 40 minutes ago, but I've heard it, let's say twice, okay? And my opinions on it very much may change over time. Last disclaimer, my standard one. Everything I say in this video, just my opinion. You do not have to agree with my opinion because, as the mug always says, music is subjective, and that is great. Okay, now that we have all of that out of the way, let's get started. And we're gonna start off with the title track, Double Down. And I'm kind of obsessed. Like, it's really funky, and it's really cool, and it's just a fabulous song. The background music is doing a lot for my love of this song because it is absolutely amazing. However, I can't place the vibes. Like, there's a certain vibe to this song that I know is there, but I can't place it. And it would normally bother me, but this background music is so good that I don't actually care. As for the verses, the first one is phenomenal. Like, from the first line of the first verse, I was absolutely enthralled, and it only got better from there. The second verse is the rap verse, and it's nowhere near as good as the first one, if I'm being honest. However, if I continue to be honest, most verses aren't as good as that first verse. So, while yes, this doesn't hold up, it's not a bad verse. It's perfectly enjoyable. The pre-chorus, meanwhile, is probably the weakest part of the song. It's not that it's bad, it's not. It just doesn't hit in the same way as the rest of the song does. However, again, it's not bad. It flows well into the chorus. It does what it needs to do, and I can respect that. And speaking of the chorus, masterful chorus, okay? I was pacing in my living room the first time I heard this. You need to understand the context. I was pacing in my living room, right? Because I'm in a competition with 2 of my friends to see who can take the most steps in the next month before they come here for vacation to visit. One of their families lives here, and she's coming with her wife, so they're gonna come here, right? We have a competition over who can take more steps. So I was pacing while I listened to this because I didn't plan on reviewing this album. And I had to pause my pacing. I'm losing, by the way. That's relevant. I'm losing this competition very badly. I'm down by like 4,000 steps today alone. But I decided I was willing to sacrifice it because this song is so good that I just needed to talk about it because odds are nobody's gonna listen to it. Big picture though, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this is a replay level debut song. This is one of the greatest debut songs I've ever heard. It's not quite like God tier, but in terms of 2023 boy group debuts, it's definitely up there for me, which is really sad because again, odds are most people aren't gonna even know this song exists. And it's such a shame. Like, for those who wonder, this is why I make a point to review less popular groups. I'll talk about Secret Number, I'll talk about Zodiac, I'll talk about WIB and POW and all these groups that I had never heard of before I decided to review them, because I know myself, like I know for me, if I don't try and make a point of listening to everything that comes out, I'm just not gonna do it. And I feel like this is one of those groups where there are amazing songs out there, right? Like, there are groups that have like no fans and amazing songs. And I feel like this is gonna be one of those groups. Back to my point though, of 2023 debuts, I would put this in top 3 for boy groups. Honestly, top 3 in general for like group debuts of 2023 probably. And this one's new. Like, the other 2 I've heard a lot more. So I'm gonna stream this more and we'll see where she lands at the end of the year. Anyway, on to the next song, No Matter What. And this is another great one. It's a lot more toned down than the title track, but that does not detract from my enjoyment whatsoever because this song, very good. It also has like this almost sexy vibe, and I probably would be willing to call it sexy if I wasn't intimately aware of the fact that the people singing it are children. Yes, I know a lot of them are like 18, 19. Anyone under the age of 20 is a baby to me at this point. Like, I'm 24. I'm going to be 25 at the start of next year. Like, I'm old and haggard. If you're in your teens, you're basically 12, and I will not be convinced otherwise. That said, the verses are very good. The second one in particular is phenomenal, but the first one is great too. The chorus, meanwhile, is demonic in nature, and let me explain. I should hate this chorus, right? I've said a billion times now, I can't stand an overly repetitive chorus. It pisses me off on a deep personal level. It works here. I can't explain why. I don't know what it's doing different, but it works here and I like it, so I'm not going to complain. We have reached the penultimate song, which is Cloud, and if you ask me, this is the weakest song on the album because, spoilers for the next song, I loved 3 of these songs, or at least I really, really liked 3 of these songs. This one, while it's not bad, it's just not as good. Like, at the end of the day, this is kind of just a song. It's not really doing a ton to keep me interested, keep me invested. It's not a great song. It's not a bad song. It's really just a song, and I could sit here and run through it, but I literally have nothing else to say. Like, I have no thoughts on the verses. They're verses. They exist. They're perfectly acceptable. The whole song exists and is perfectly acceptable, but I really couldn't tell you anything beyond that, so we're gonna move on. Alrighty, last but not least, we have Showtime, and I am so close to calling this a non-hyperbolic masterpiece. Like, I loved the vast majority of this song, but there is one thing holding it back. There's one thing keeping it from being an unhyperbolic masterpiece, and that's the chorus. This chorus, I'm not going to say kills the song. Like, I'm still planning to listen to this song a lot more in the future, but it does keep it from reaching its true potential because for this chorus, they shift the background music, they switch it up, and the chorus is basically just them saying it's showtime a lot, and I could handle an overly repetitive chorus and no matter what I do because it worked there. This is not one of those cases. Okay, negatives are done. Let's talk positives. Starting off, background music. With the sole exception of the background music for the chorus, this background music is incredible. The guitar at the start, the little flares at various points, the way you can literally feel in your spirit the way the first verse builds, I love it all. And speaking of verses, these are some of the best verses I've ever heard on a K-pop debut album, definitely by a boy group in recent times, like the first one, right? I know I just said this, it builds and you feel it grow and it starts the song off so perfectly. The second verse, just like with the title track, is the rap verse, and this time I loved it. Like, these raps fuck hard. I don't know who wrote these raps, I don't know who did these raps, they need to be in charge because they all fucked hard. Like, every single rap in this verse was so good. The pre-chorus is great too. The background music picks up and you can feel as it just goes into what should have been an absolute banger of a chorus, if only we gotten one. In summary, not the best chorus, but the rest of the song more than makes up for it. I loved nearly every second of this song, and I will be Stockholming myself into loving the chorus too because I need this song in my life. But that is all I have to tell you about this album. So with that, it is score time, and overall, I'm giving this a 9.6 out of 10. Yes, there's one mid song, but the other 3 are great. One of them is potentially my favorite debut of 2023, and another is a very strong contender for my favorite debut B-side of 2023. So let's just say we started off very strong. I will definitely be keeping my eyes on this group. And yeah, 9.6 out of 10. However, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment your thoughts on this album down below. Let me know how you feel. If you haven't heard this album and for some reason you're watching this video anyway, please listen to it. A, they need the streams, like they have no fans. But also B, it's a very good album. You can skip Cloud. But the rest of it, very good album. However, as said, comment what you want down below. You can also like and subscribe if you want to or don't. I will be okay either way. And yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!